Hope is fading for survivors buried in the rubble following the devastating earthquakes in Venezuela. More than 1,400 people are confirmed dead after nearly 200 buildings collapsed, thousands more damaged. It's time for the Streamline, everything you need to know in 10 minutes or less. Search dogs and rescue crews from around the world are working 24 hours a day, pulling off some miraculous rescues. Crews saved a mother and her newborn baby after 32 hours trapped in the debris. American teams also helped save another mother and her 9-month-old. Authorities are now limiting access to the hardest hit areas, saying that crowds of volunteers are some cases, while they have good intentions, they are getting in the way of the skilled rescue teams trying to reach those still collapsed. And tens of thousands are now without a home, losing everything in these earthquakes. Here at home, Casa de Venezuela is collecting medicine, food, hygiene products in Old Town San Diego to help the survivors. Organizers say people from all different backgrounds are dropping off donations. But for one volunteer, this devastation hits very close to home.
The solidarity of the community is huge, and we are really grateful for the ones that are coming from other countries too. But as a family, as a person who has family there, I want to help every single minute I can.
The donations will head to Los Angeles and Miami before arriving in Venezuela. Organizers say all transportation costs are covered.
And the U.S. and Iran agreed to stop attacking each other after a weekend of military strikes. A U.S. official says both countries will again allow ships to move freely through the Strait of Hormuz. Now, the U.S. struck Iran over recent attacks on commercial shipping, and Iran retaliated by targeting U.S. military sites in Kuwait and Bahrain. The two nations signed an agreement to keep the strait open less than 2 weeks ago, but Iran now claims it alone controls the waterway.
The president's patience isn't going to last forever, but they need to understand their leverage is diminishing by the day.
Technical talks over the details of the deal are still planned for this week. And gas prices are steadily dropping despite the fighting. San Diego County's average price for a gallon of regular is now at $5.51, down more than a dime from last week. The average for nationally is about $3.86.
Today, the Supreme Court is set to hand down some major decisions. One that we are watching for could upend birthright citizenship. President Trump signed an executive order to end it. It challenges the 14th Amendment, which says that all people born in the U.S. are citizens. If the Supreme Court upholds that order, children born in the U.S. would not automatically become citizens if their parents are not citizens or permanent residents. The president says this would only apply to children born after the order takes effect. This is just one of 8 decisions left on the SCOTUS docket. Other major cases include 2 election cases, 3 on presidential powers, and 2 on transgender athletes. Here in Southern California, a recovery operation is underway for a missing Marine. That Marine vanished early Thursday from the from the San Diego-based USS Anchorage during a training operation. The military didn't say why or how the Marine may have gone overboard. Crews scoured thousands of miles of ocean for nearly 2 days before ending the rescue effort over the weekend. Officials will release the Marine's name after notifying their family.
And over in Carlsbad, a security guard was arrested after video shows he tased a customer in the face during a World Cup watch party last week. The video is making its rounds online and raising some questions about how big crowds should be handled. ABC 10 News reporter Ava Kirshner went to the bar where it happened and tells us customers were shocked.
The man was standing right here when a security guard on the other side of that fence lifted up his taser and fired from a few feet away, the probes latching onto the man's face, sending him to the ground.
The fact that the security guard was the one that was making people unsafe. And that was really shocking to me.
Park 101 in Carlsbad has been a hot spot lately for World Cup fans.
It's just really fun to see everyone come together, as he said, and get together for this event that doesn't happen always often.
But big crowds don't always bring out the best behavior.
Parents sent me the videos. It was pretty crazy. Everybody knows about it, which, it's a tight community.
On Wednesday, Carlsbad police responded to a security guard allegedly firing a stun gun on a patron at close range. ABC 10 News has contacted the person with the video of the incident for permission to use it, but we have not heard back. 42-year-old David Marquez was arrested on suspicion of assault with a deadly weapon and assault with a stun gun.
The guy was on the other side of this fence. We had already basically left the establishment, and the security guard was still having some kind of altercation with him, and then just point blank shot at him straight in the face. And you can see the guy just fall to his knees, holding his face.
Marquez was released Thursday on a $30,000 bail and will be in court on July 2nd. Regulars at the sports bar say the shocking incident shouldn't stop people from coming back for watch parties.
I think it's just an unfortunate event. I don't think it should reflect poorly on Park 101. And as we see today behind us, there's lots of people who are still here, families who are enjoying the game. And that's what it's all about.
I spoke with Rob, one of the owners here at Park 101, off camera. He told me they are cooperating with the investigation, and since it is active, they chose not to comment. Reporting in Carlsbad, I'm Ava Kirshner, ABC 10 News.
Ava is your North County coastal reporter. If you have any stories you'd like her to cover, you can email her at ava.kirshner@10news.com or scan the QR code on your screen. And a San Diego man is filing a $35 million claim against the city after tripping over a broken parking meter in Mission Hills. Surveillance video shows a 70-year-old man falling near the corner of Albatross and West Washington Streets. His attorney says he tripped over a metal parking meter base left sticking out of the sidewalk. The man fractured his neck and back, and he spent 18 days in the hospital and now requires around-the-clock care. His attorney says the city removed the meter more than a year ago, but left a dangerous base behind.
The $35 million demand in the claim that was made to the city hopefully will be seen as an eye-opener. The city needs to address these issues.
And the city has 45 days to respond to the claim before a lawsuit can be filed. A city spokesperson declined to comment on the claim.
It's a race to save a multi-million-dollar telescope in space before it crashes into Earth. NASA is launching a first-of-its-kind rescue mission. They're trying to save the $500 million Swift telescope. It's losing altitude because of intense solar activity, and it's going to fall to Earth without some help. Now, NASA hired a startup company called Catalyst Space to fix this problem. The company built a 3-armed robot named Link to chase down that telescope. The robot will grab the satellite and boost it into a safer orbit, and then it will launch as soon as tomorrow over the Pacific.
You can hear the San Diego Symphony for free. Welcome to Free and Fun, where I show you free and fun things to do in San Diego, because let's be honest, all of us could be saving a little extra coin right now. This time, we're headed to the Rady Shell, where you can picnic while listening to the piccolo and all the other instruments that are part of the orchestra. Now, if you didn't already know this, the Rady Shell keeps rehearsals for their concerts open and free to the public.
It's about accessibility, and one of the best ways for anyone to be able to see the symphony live without paying for a ticket is to see an open rehearsal.
So you can grab a blanket and sit right here on the grass. You can also sit in the seats right next to the Rady Shell, so you can get a little closer to the action.
Before this was here, this was just a big public park, and it's still, I'd love for people to think of it still as a public park, because we just happen to be here playing great music.
In keeping with that spirit, they've kept rehearsals open to the public. Today's was the first of the summer, but they've got a lot more coming. Rehearsals are usually on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays in the mid-morning hours, and it's a very family-friendly event. Here's the full schedule if you want to go. In San Diego, Emily Coffey, 10 News.
Yeah, if you like free music, go ahead and check that out. And that's your ABC 10 News Streamline, everything you need to know today in under 10 minutes.